Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this is my 2013 Subaru BRZ. Let's go take a look at it. So I got this car last June of, it would have been 2018. So I've had it for about a year now, and I've put about, I'd say 12,000 miles on it since then, and it has been a blast ever since I got it. So let me just walk you around and talk to you about what this is. So like I said, this is a 2013 Subaru BRZ. I got the limited trim, and the color on it is World Rally Blue. And now the most common question I get asked is, why did I go with the Subaru and not the Scion? Because if you don't know, the Subaru BRZ, the Scion FRS, and the Toyota GT86 are all the same car. I went with the Subaru and picked that because of the color and also the interior. So I really wanted the World Rally Blue. That's what I was holding out on. And I liked the front bumper a little bit more on the BRZ, which I know is kind of an uncommon opinion. And following that, the inside is also a little bit more pristine, but you're also going to be paying for that. So that's why I got one with a little bit higher mileage. But I'll show you the interior in a minute. Let me talk to you about kind of my process with this car and why I got this instead of, let's say, a Ford Focus ST, Fiesta ST, a Miata, an EcoBoost, anything in that realm of like a 4-cylinder. I didn't go with this because it was low powered. I initially wanted a Mustang GT. My friend had one, Brandon, who you saw in a couple episodes back. If you hadn't watched that, go check that out. But he had a Mustang, and of course I got hooked immediately on it because those are really fun cars. But after proposing to my parents saying that I wanted a Mustang, I was told that I would kill myself with it, and rightfully speaking. So they said I could get an EcoBoost Mustang. After a lot of thought and consideration, I realized I didn't think an EcoBoost Mustang was the best car for me. It felt, one, a little sacrilegious to kind of have a 4-cylinder Mustang, but also I figured there's so many other cars in that range that I could get other than the EcoBoost Mustang, like the BRZ. And so what I decided to do was I started listing out all my options. And after test driving all of them, the WRX was definitely the fastest. It was way faster than any of the other cars, and that's because it's got turbo. If you don't know, the BRZ is naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. All right, so after test driving all of them, my favorite was the BRZ or the WRX. The WRX had the speed that I wanted from the Mustang, but the BRZ had the looks and the rear-wheel drive that the Mustang had. So I was left with a debate. Do I go with the fast all-wheel drive sedan, or do I go with the BRZ and get the rear-wheel drive, a little bit less powerful, but more of a driver-focused car compared to the WRX? Now, don't get me wrong, I love the WRX. It's a very fun car, very fast. Sometimes I wish I'd gotten it. But this BRZ is even more fun, if not more fun to drive. I had only seen about 2 BRZs on the road. In fact, they were probably FRSs. They're a little bit more common than the Subaru. So I'd realized that the BRZ was more the car for me. So I started looking at Auto Trader like I had been for the last few months, and I saw this one pop up right here. So this came with 36,000 miles. It was listed at 37. It's the limited trim. It's the color I wanted. It's manual. It was everything I wanted. So I went to the dealership about a week before we had scheduled to get test drove. It was at CarMax, and I got there and I saw it, and the second I saw this car, I knew it was the one for me. I didn't care that it was lacking the power of the WRX. I didn't care that it wasn't all-wheel drive. The hood scoop would have been nice, yes, but I saw this and I fell in love. It is a fantastic car. So I came back probably about a week later for the test drive of this car. And at that point, I'd already known that I was gonna buy it. I just wanted to test drive it just to make sure nothing was wrong. So I test drove it and I got it. It was about mid-June last year that I got 2018. And since then, I love it. Let me check the mileage on it right now, and I'll tell you how many miles I put on. All right, I'm at 49,168 miles. I got it with about 36, so you can do the math. I've put a good amount of miles on this since I've had it. And man, it is a fun car. So like I said, I have the limited trim. What that really gets you is you get these seats. So the seats come leather and the Alcantara inserts, which just feel fantastic. They grip you very well. And the other thing you get is the heated seats right here, which honestly, It doesn't sound like a big deal, but the heated seats are a huge deal, especially these last couple of days when it's been pretty cold outside. Being able to just turn on the heated seats and let your car warm up and then get in and have it warm. It's really nice. Also, the other thing that the limited trim comes with is the climate control vents right here. So this has auto climate control, which I didn't think was that big of a deal. I wasn't too focused on it, but the second I've used it and I've gotten used to it, I can't see myself going back. But yeah, that's about all for the limited trim in this car. I don't think there's too much else. Now I'm going to go over the mods that I've put on this car. So we're going to start with the outside. On the outside of this car, I've done a good bit of visual mods, but not a ton. So if I open up the engine here. All right, so underneath here is the 200 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque, 4-cylinder Boxster that Subaru includes in it. Honestly, this engine is way better than I thought it would be. I just thought, oh, it's another 4-cylinder. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But no, this is some engine. It's a 2-liter, so 200 horsepower coming from that 2-liter it's pretty impressive. But so I painted the bars there. I painted those yellow. Not a huge performance upgrade, probably about 5 horsepower. I've done a drop-in air filter, which, I mean, you're not going to feel any real difference. But the main thing I've done under the hood is right here, coming off of the intake, is usually a tube that goes all the way to this, and that's kind of your sound. It pumps sound basically into the cabin, and I mean, I don't want sound pumped into my cabin. Plus, it's taking air out of my intake, so I changed that. The other thing I did, which was a visual mod, is right here on the headlights. This used to be very silver on the inside. I took them out, took them apart, and plasti dipped the inside black. The license plate frame here with the Subaru Rally Team USA license plate in there. And let's see, I have also done, these side markers right here are aftermarket. It kind of gets rid of that orange look. And if you notice in that shot, you can see that I have yellow brakes on this. And I decided I didn't want to go with the red theme that most people do for their brakes. So I decided to paint these yellow, and I'm actually really happy with them. They're starting to fade now, which, having the car and driving it about 14,000 miles, I would say it's held its lifetime. So here's the back driver's side one. Definitely faded a little bit, but not too big of a deal. The other thing, tires on here, I've got all sport, Cinturata, Pirelli, Strata Sport, all seasons, which I had to get those because, one, I kind of blew through the first tires, and two, I just need something all season. In the back, I've blacked out these badges right here. Not a huge upgrade, but following that, I have done a muffler delete on this, so it's just a single exit exhaust. I'll do some clips at the end of this that kind of emphasize that. But now let's go into the inside, and I'll show you the mods we've done inside of the car. All right, so sitting inside my BRZ, the first thing you notice is the handles over here. Carbon fiber. These are just kind of adhesive. They're kind of glued on top of the original trim. And my goal with this car is to kind of get rid of all the silver. So if you see the traction control buttons right here, this was the silver that was on the car. And I'm trying to get rid of that. I'm not a huge fan of the silver. I kind of want to black everything out. So, excuse me, carbon fiber on the door handles. And then following that, I did on the steering wheel here, this black trim, that's aftermarket, that's black. This logo, just an aftermarket sticker. It's kind of peeling. I might need to get a new one. WeatherTech floor mats. I have this pair and shift knob on here, which I think just goes great with the overall car. And then these right here, these, you can probably tell I wrapped these black because they were, once again, the silver. I didn't do the best job, but you can't really tell. It's kind of a subtle thing. The biggest upgrade in the car, though, is this right here. So this felt kind of like middle console insert thing. It says Toyota on it, but that's just because it's from the Toyotas. That's aftermarket. That was a big upgrade. I really like that. Before that, during Christmas, I had it wrapped with wrapping paper, which was cool. That's about it for all we've done to the car. All right, so let's talk about my future plans for this car, because I haven't done a ton to it yet, but I do have a lot of plans for it. So right now I'm a senior in high school. I'm about a couple months out from graduating, and my plans are to go to App State for computer science. I'm still waiting to hear back from them, but hopefully I'll know soon. But yeah, so this I will be taking with me to college. Not the best, you would say, mountain car with the snow up there, but we'll make do. Well, it'll definitely be interesting. But so my plans for this, ultimately, I love autocross, so I would love to turn this into an autocross build, eventually slap a turbo on it and just make it very powerful. But at the same time, I would also like to keep this as stock as possible and use the money to invest into my next car, because honestly, everything I put in this car, I'm not going to be getting back. And I'd rather put the 5 to 7 grand that I have to put into a turbo kit, I'd rather put that into buying a Mustang or a Focus RS or something a little bit more powered that can be my daily driver, because this isn't too practical. But that's my plans for the car. As for up until now, until college, I don't have a ton of plans, mainly just racing this. And as you can tell, I have some bird poop on the door there, which isn't ideal. But yeah, definitely going to be painting the brakes again soon. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you could just take a minute and give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and if you wouldn't mind, tell your friends about my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.